Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. Authorities in Japan have launched a large investigation after a drone, apparently laced with radiation, has landed on the roof of the Prime Minister's office in downtown Tokyo. No injuries or damage was reported. This occurred on Wednesday, Japanese Wednesday. They're investigating the possibility that the drone had crashed during the flight and that it was unintentional. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is currently in Indonesia attending an Asian-African conference. The drone was about 50 inches in diameter. It had 4 propellers and was carrying a small camera and plastic bottle. The plastic bottle is believed to have contained radioactive cesium. Authorities are saying this is a wake-up call for possible attacks when Japan hosts a Group of 7 summit meeting next year, as well as the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. In southern Chile, the Calbuco volcano has erupted for the second time in 24 hours after being dormant for about 50 years. The first eruption on Wednesday sent a thick plume of ash and smoke several miles into the sky. More than 5,000 people have been evacuated from the area. This is about 600 miles south of the capital of Santiago, and it's near the tourist town of Puerto Varas. A state of emergency has been declared. Flight cancellations were seen in Chile and Argentina. The Interior Minister gave a televised address appealing for calm. There were 3 earthquakes in central New Zealand yesterday, causing commuters going into Wellington to expect delays as the tracks were being checked for safety. A 5.1 quake struck near Ceylon, shaking buildings around the middle of New Zealand. It was followed afterwards by 2 aftershocks, a 4.4 and a 3.8, all generally in the same area. The global reinsurance broker Willis has made a firm offer to acquire the remaining 70% of the French broker Gras Savoye that it doesn't already own. They're going to pay a total of about 590 million euros for the remaining 70%. Private equity firm Astor Partners, the family shareholders of Gras Savoye and managers and employees of the French broker, own those shares that Willis is going to be buying. In the UK, a company called Lottoland, which is a specialist provider of betting services on international lotteries, has placed a 100 million euro securitization that transfers the risk of substantial or multiple payouts on lotteries that the company runs into the capital markets. Usually this risk would have been covered by reinsurance. The deal is significant because it represents the first insurance-linked security transaction to be completed, especially in this case, it's being completed in Gibraltar. This is the first time Gibraltar has obtained a big ILS win since they announced their plans to gain a foothold in the ILS market about a year ago. Albert Isola, the Minister for Financial Services for the government of Gibraltar, said that he is delighted. Deutsche Bank is going to pay a $2.5 billion penalty to the United States and British authorities to settle accusations that it helped manipulate the benchmarks used to set interest rates on trillions of dollars of mortgages, student loans, credit cards, and other debt. This is the so-called LIBOR scandal. The penalty is by far the biggest in a years-long investigation into this. The previous record holder was Union Bank of Switzerland, who had agreed to pay $1.5 billion. One of the people investigating was, of course, New York Superintendent of Financial Services, Benjamin Lawsky, who said, "Markets do not just manipulate themselves, it takes deliberate wrongdoing by individuals." As part of the settlement, Deutsche Bank has agreed to fire 7 managers suspected of involvement in wrongdoing. 6 of the 7 are located in London. And here's an interesting story. In Pueblo, New Mexico, there's a unit of the United States military called the Pueblo Chemical Agent Destruction Pilot Plant. It was built in the 1940s. As the United States entered World War II, there was a huge stockpile of chemical weapons at the site. Now there are 780,000 mustard gas shells that are stored there. In the 1990s, the United States and other countries signed a treaty pledging to destroy their chemical weapons. That's finally about to happen now in Pueblo, Colorado. Full-scale weapons destruction of the mustard gas, which is extremely lethal, is going to begin in October. Each shell of the 780,000 is going to be carefully unpacked, have its explosives removed, and then repeatedly checked for leaks. The shell is then going to be taken apart, soaked in neutralizing chemicals, blasted with high-pressure water, and then baked in ovens to strip away every trace of the poison. Destroying the mustard gas stockpile is going to take about 4 years and will cost about $4.5 billion. Those are shells that have been lying around for almost 100 years. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back to tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.